All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 139. We're going to be ranking some NFC North game day experiences again, and also talking about division fantasy football player targets. Obviously, it's off season, so we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. And obviously, I am NFLOutdated. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter. You can find me on X, Twitter, YouTube, and Freezin number 4 pod on TikTok. And one of the regular guests is back again tonight, and welcome it again, Miles. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me back, Andy. You guys can find me at the Pack Weekly Pod, streaming live every Monday night, 9:30 p.m. Central. We are on YouTube, the Packers Talk Network YouTube channel. Go check that out, subscribe, and on X as well, at Pack Weekly Pod. And just having some fun, sticking to Pack, man. We try to avoid all the distractions and all the nonsense.
Well, speaking of the Packers and nonsense,
Hey!
we got Trevor is back, and also Dre made it in. I know you weren't sure if you were going to make it, so now Trevor, as we're getting started, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me everywhere on RevTrevNFL. Great to have anyone come by and connect. I'm doing a little bit of trolling lately, just saying. I'm spitting NFC North facts, and you should see the comments. It is a hornet's nest, and it's so much fun. So I'm just telling the truth, and people don't like the truth.
I love that. Love that. You know I love that. That's my game. And also, Dre, welcome back in. And where can everyone find you?
You can hit me up on Twitter X, the Blue Sky Sports. It's at Skullman Sports.
Very good, very good. Yeah, last week it was just Trevor and I, and we were talking about our game day experiences. We stretched it to an hour. I don't know how that happened, but we had some great stuff that we both shared. I know Trevor, you're excited about going to a Packer game this year, and I'm going to try to make that happen to meet you there. I've never met you in person, so definitely gonna. And we've settled on that I am going to wear my Bears merch, and also we can also talk about, and we'll talk about this a little later. Trevor and I have gone into a little adventure here that we're getting figured out. And Trevor, RevTrev, you are fantastic with your designs, and I'm just the idea guy, I guess. So we have a new little merch store. Check it out on this bonfire. We are my favorite one so far is the Vikings one, Dre. And I don't know if did you see that yet?
I saw what you said. Yeah, I saw what you said.
Just kind of toying around with different things. I'm trying to make them as simple as possible. So we can get them on all different colored shirts and stuff. But yeah, the big KOC that had to be on there. We've got some other ones coming as well. Just kind of soft launch, trying to figure out the best way to do it and all that. So thanks, Trev, for all your awesome designs on that.
I like that it says bonfire, because the stuff we have is absolute straight fire. I think people should buy it. I mean, if you want to be cool, you should get it. If you don't want to be cool, you want to be uncool, wear the crap that you're wearing. You know what I'm saying?
And we haven't even put out.
We don't have the cool sunglasses like Miles. We got to get the yellow sunglasses.
All that stuff. Even some of our best ideas aren't even out there yet. So that's all that stuff's coming. Obviously, my favorite one on there so far is Caleb's Crib Lambo. Very, very simple design there. And we have just a few more ideas, and definitely that's coming as well. But, stay tuned for that. And I'll probably, I haven't committed to it yet, but I'm probably going to try to go to every training camp this year, try to figure that out, and maybe wear merch. As I was telling Miles, it would be tough to wear the Packer merch, but I may be able to take one for the team. So we'll see. So as we get going, when we talk about like game day experiences, we talked about that last year. Just kind of recap, Trevor, what was kind of your favorite one last week that we talked about?
Yeah, so I thought it was going to be that the Vikings were going to be the best experience. Well, I thought it was going to be mostly because of the stadium, because it's like state of the art kind of stadium. I didn't realize how high Lambeau Field was on that top list, and which made me happy. Don't get me wrong, but I would have thought that like SoFi or Dallas' stadium would have been higher. But the overall experience I get, and it is cool that all the houses, like as you're walking towards the stadium and the field there, I can't wait to see it live. So yeah, that to me was probably the biggest surprise. I would have, because I ranked them. I thought it was going to be Minnesota for the NFC North, Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, and Detroit. And I was wrong about that one. So yeah,
even I agree that the Packer experience live is fantastic. I mean, how many games have you been to, Miles?
How many stadiums?
Or no, how many Packers games have you been to?
Oh, how many Packers? Oh man, I honestly don't have a good count on that.
Okay, so you've obviously been to a few at Lambeau then.
Yeah. I mean that in a way that I've been to a lot. Fortunately, my grandfather, he played for the Packers. We had Packers season tickets, so anytime I got to be up there, we got to go to a game, and that was just kind of a given, which I understand is definitely, I'm spoiled. We'll just call it that. Like, there's a lot of people that will, like go to one game at Lambeau in their life, and like that'll be, like a sweet moment. And I've been fortunate to go to a lot. So yeah, I've been to a bunch of them. Had a lot of different experiences. Been to preseason games, been to postseason games, been to all the season games in the middle. I mean, I'll lead out with this one. So whenever I started going to games most frequently was when I went to college up at UW Oshkosh. I grew up down here in Texas. So it was a little harder to get to games, from DFW. But once I was up there, it was a little easier to get to them. And I, at one point, was going to every home game. One of the first memorable ones I had was the 2008 season, and it was against the Texans. I believe it was like the first or second weekend in December. And it was my first real cold game. Like I had gotten real nice treatment up to that point. And, I had to learn a few lessons the hard way in that game. But it like, to me, I will never forget that game at Lambeau, because that's when I really felt like I kind of got baptized by Lambeau, if you will. It was, I think, single digits. We had to keep poking the neck of the beer to keep the ice from forming, so you could actually drink your beer. It was crazy, man. I think they actually lost that game too, which was kind of a bummer, but it was a hell of an experience being out there in the cold, tailgating and just doing the whole thing, man. And a lot of learned lessons there.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Obviously, Trevor talked about Seattle being a good, a bucket list place and really a good place to watch a game. That's on my list. And when you talk about places, I've been to Minnesota, just the new stadium. I liked it. We talked about how it had the artificial snow and all that inside. It was a little bit hokey, but it was kind of cool. But really, I mean, it's the state of the art facility. And have you been there yet, Dre?
As a visitor, like I've gone on a tour of the place. I've never actually been to honestly, I was telling you this offline, is that I've never actually been to a home Vikings game.
Oh wow.
It's unfortunate. But when I was living in Minnesota when I was younger, it was during the late 90s, early 2000s. So it was couldn't afford going for obvious reasons. And so then we moved away, and it was hard, obviously, to go back and go to Vikings games because obviously it was still kind of expensive. And then honestly, to this day, it's still now expensive again. So I've been there as like from a fan. Like I went there when I visited, and I got to see like how it is. And even my wife, who's not as into football, really, she loved the stadium. Like she actually had a fun time just visiting. Like I was geeking out. Like I love being on the field and everything. But like for her, I think that speaks to that stadium, is that somebody who doesn't really care about stadiums, like let alone football, generally speaking, enjoyed her time there. I will say I've been to a bunch of Vikings away games though. I think of recent memory, at least. I was at the Bills game when they played them a few years ago.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, their old stadium now is about to go, but I will say that was one of the best like football games I've ever been. Just because I lived in Buffalo for a while, so like I became like secondary. I'm a Bills fan, but I was like that fan base. I think like with any of these, like it's relatively neutral. So like you can go there, and as long as you're just good, fun, and you know football, you can like talk to them, and they're a fun time. I mean, you see like the videos. Honestly, yeah, those are true. Like, yeah, there's plenty of tables smashed. I got lucky. I got somebody who was in a Diggs jersey at the time. He jumped through a table that I got a video of, which was great to see. Kind of fun time. And then the other game that of recent memory, I went down to the Falcons game 2 years ago when Josh Dobbs, Pastronaut, made his appearance. And that was, I will say this, even as a Vikings fan, if you haven't gone to a Falcons game, that stadium I think is like arguably the best one that I've ever been to. Just mainly because what I love about it is that when you enter above like the lower bowl. So like it kind of feels like a little bit more like you're walking down to your seat, or like you're just, it doesn't feel as divisive, I guess, in the sense of like when you paid for nosebleeds, you're walking up to nosebleeds, and it's just like this one, it's like you maybe walk up like one flight of stairs and then you're at the top, and that's it, and the rest of it's below you. And then obviously Mercedes-Benz is a state of the art as well. But like I really like Mercedes-Benz. Like I honestly I've never been to a Vikings game. Obviously, that is what I want to do, but it's financially it's just not possible at this point.
It's tough, man.
So. But I always try to go to a Vikings game at least one a year if I can.
Love that.
So hopefully I can this year, but I don't know. We'll see.
Now, welcome in, Dave. Where can I find you as we get started here?
Viking Dave 18 on Twitter. That's pretty much it. That's me.
Absolutely. And now, have you been to any home Vikings games?
I have. I've been to the Metrodome and US Bank, and it's been pretty awesome. I like it. I like the indoor. The dome was fun because it got loud, man. It got loud in there. I remember going to the playoff game against Dallas in 2009, and the top was about to come off that place. It was rocking. So that was a lot of fun. I've been to a couple of home games. I try to go one every couple of years. Me and my brothers and now my son and my dad. We like to go to one. We try to go to one game a year. You know, we live down in Tampa, so it depends on where they go, whether we make a trip out of it. So we try. I've been to a lot of the South stadiums: Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville, Atlanta, Carolina. I went to Buffalo a couple years ago, and that was amazing. I want to go to Lambeau.
Game. You guys must have been the same game then. Yeah.
That game was amazing. I mean, those last.
Wait, you went to the Jefferson Catch game?
Yeah, I was there, dude.
Yeah, I was there too.
I was there. Yeah. We were in the end zone that Josh Allen fumbled with 30 seconds left.
Oh wow!
And we were in the second level, so it was like perfect. And the way he took that snap, I'm like, yo, he did not get that ball. Obviously, it was a mashup. You don't know what's going on. I'm like, he did not get that snap. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That game was amazing. The snow, the whole like freezing cold. That was probably the best game. That's one of the best games ever, at least regular season wise. But it was a lot of fun that time. But I haven't been to Green Bay, and I've never been to Chicago. I do want to go to both those stadiums.
And you should probably wait to go to Chicago until they have the new stadium. You know, I love my Bears, but the fan experience of the Bears, I agree, it's not all that good. Although we do have some good tailgates that are a little bit further away from the stadium that make it good. But overall, not obviously as good as some others. And I think seventh letters here. For some reason, the Lions are on the bottom of this NFC North list. Let's see if we can hear him here. If he's here, usually he's. Are you there? Seventh letter.
Looks like he's in an Uber, and he'll be on when he gets out.
He's just kind of traveling, a little bit.
That's how dedicated he is. Everyone's
like dedicated, man. He's in.
He is. Oh yes, he's on an Uber. Okay, all right. I'll be on when you get out. All right. We'll be here, and so when you talk about NFC North obviously game day and players. You know, I'm really into fantasy football. I know Trev is. I know we all try to be in, you know, all different leagues or whatever. So one thing that I definitely wanted to talk about is, you know, what are some of the division players that we should be focused on? Obviously, there's, you know, we know Justin Jefferson and so you know, although we'll talk about his quarterback in a bit, but when you look at players, so I'll start with you, Trev. What are some players that you're trying to target from the NFC North teams?
Yeah, so actually this year, when it comes to the NFC North, everyone is in question except for the Detroit Lions. You've seen what the Detroit Lions look like, but because like I have Jefferson in a lot of keeper leagues, and people are like trying to get him off me, and I'm like, I just can't trade him yet because I'm like, I don't know what McCarthy's gonna do. Is he gonna be better than Darnold? Is he gonna be same, below? I don't know. And I know that Vikings fans want to say, oh, he's going to be better. Well, we just don't know yet, right? And then you have like Caleb Williams, for example, who had a decent start. But like, what is the value now to Moore and Nunez? And now you got Burton and Loveland and Komet, and there's a lot of mouths to feed. So, and then Green Bay, like we just spread the ball around. So like, who am I targeting? Who do I think is the safest? I think the safest is Josh Jacobs. I think the safest is Gibbs and Montgomery, St. Brown. And I would think that the safest would be Jefferson. But I'm guessing at this point, like do you go after Hawkinson? I'm not sure. I've just like run around the whole NFC North in a couple seconds. But that's kind of I feel like the question marks for the NFC North are larger for fantasy football than they've ever been, just because there's a lot of unsureness, you know?
Miles, are you kind of on that same track there?
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. I think it's a good assessment. I mean, you know, and not to pick on you, but the Bears are a giant question mark. You know, who emerges as a good option? That's a huge question mark. You know, maybe you could say DJ Moore is the favorite, but I don't even know if you could say that. I think that
I wouldn't even say that, honestly. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's a giant question mark for the Bears. And the way I play fantasy football, I try to avoid question marks. So it's not that I'll look at the Bears and go, nah, none of those guys are gonna be good. It's I don't know, so I'm staying away from it. So yeah, I think I agree with Trev. I mean, Josh Jacobs has got to be one of the safest options out of the North.
Absolutely.
He's going to get his touches. You don't know what receivers are going to emerge for the Packers. Maybe Luke Musgrave starts factoring into the equation at tight end too. You know, there's a lot of question marks outside of the running back position for the Packers. So that's another one I probably am just like avoiding.
Totally.
And then, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with Justin Jefferson. He is what he is. I don't think it matters who's throwing it to him. There's a few guys in the league that it doesn't matter who's throwing it to him, and he's one of them. You know, he's going to get his numbers. Devontae Adams is the same way. It doesn't matter who's throwing it to him. He's going to get his numbers. So yeah, safe pick. I wouldn't go with anybody outside of Jefferson on the Vikings. I'm probably avoiding the rest of that crew. Maybe a running back.
Dre, are you kind of on that long line, along the same lines? Because now, okay, we are kind of, just to clarify, I think we're kind of more talking about redraft leagues or, you know, just the main league. So not dynasty quite yet. So Dre, are you kind of on that same, you know, way of thinking as far as, you know, just maybe Jefferson's the only one in the Vikings that we can focus on?
Yeah, I think so. At least for the first few rounds, I think like Jefferson, like I think Miles said it, like he doesn't need somebody who's like an amazing thrower. I mean, Darnold like got him the numbers. I mean, he's had every single season 1,000 yards. Like that. I mean, like that. Like last year, he went off on like games. It's ridiculous. You know, like it's not really much. Yeah, obviously, if McCarthy does decently. That's going to make it better. Which like you can kind of like look at, that's going to obviously spread the ball around to Addison. But I mean, you look at last year, like Addison kind of had his ups and downs, like fantasy wise. Same thing with Jones, is that like he had some really good games, but then he got kind of boggled down by injuries at the end. And Hawkinson, like I think like he's going to have another good year, just because it's getting further and further from the ACL tear. So I think like that's just, and obviously working with a consistent quarterback, that's obviously another good thing. So I think like there's a lot of upside. I think it is a little questionable. Yeah, and like I think like maybe you could kind of I guess bark on Mason a little bit. I think like he could do some, but like it was already said. I think with the NFC North, like aside from the real obvious ones, Jefferson, Amon St. Brown, you kind of like you're gonna get later picks. Like they could pan out extremely well. Like Love, I think like could pan out well, but he like similarly he had some games that were iffy fantasy wise. And same thing, honestly, with Caleb Williams and Jared Goff. Like, there was a game, Jared Goff had those 5 interceptions one game. Terrible fantasy-wise. But then he comes back the following week and is somehow able to, like, just throw 5 touchdowns. So it's – I mean, that's the fun thing about fantasy, if anything. But can you trust him for a first-round pick? Probably not. But, so I would say – actually, I'll take that back. Jamar Gibbs, I think he's – I think he has a high upside, and I think like he has a lot going for him. I think like, and Jacobs, I think he has the touchdown aspects. Yards, I don't know as much, but I think like definitely on the touchdown aspects, if they get down to the 1-2 yard line, they're gonna hand it off. He's a grinder, so he's gonna get it from there. So it's. I would say Amon St. Brown and Jefferson are probably the safest two, and then Gibbs is probably a very close third, and then Jacobs after that.
So, Dave, I want to bring you in on this. Obviously, when you talk about the Vikings, is this the most excited you've been for the Vikings since Brett Favre was there?
Wow, I love that.
You know what? Probably.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Well, I'm trying to think because there was 2017, but we had some injury. Dalvin Cook got hurt, Sam Bradford got hurt, and I know people laugh at Sam Bradford, but that guy was freaking good, man. When he was healthy, he was good.
Underrated, yeah.
He really, and I didn't realize it until he was on my team, and you realize like how good he really is. It really sucks that he had those injuries, but going into a season as excited, probably the year after 2017, because you always think, you got that close, you're going to do it again, but it never, seems to happen. But yeah, I feel like we've got a good team. I know everybody's questioning JJ McCarthy. I get it. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I just think with the coaches that we have and that JJ was handpicked by this guy, you know what I mean? Like he's made everybody look good. I saw something else. So I saw someone else say something about JJ McCarthy today. I forget who it was, but he's like, Jim Harbaugh, like he knows a little bit about football. Like he loves this guy. Like I get it. He didn't throw for 5,000 yards in college, throw the ball on the field. Maybe he's gonna suck. I don't know. I just feel like I trust the coaches. I think it's a good team, both sides of the ball. They made some upgrades, and I'm excited for JJ. So yeah, I am excited for the season. We got a tough schedule. We all do.
Well, yeah, what's going to be hard is, obviously, he may be good, and I'm going to say JJ McCarthy may be good. I'm not thinking he's going to be. He may be good. All right, just like I'm saying, Jordan Love may have a good year. I'm not on that. All right, but at least Jordan Love has proven it a little bit so far. JJ McCarthy hasn't been. As far as like a fantasy football and even a real football, I get it, kind of being excited about a season, but I think it'd be hard to be like, okay, fantasy football, I'm going to pick JJ McCarthy, unless you're like a huge fan of the Vikings and you're just like, I'm sold. I'm going to take, as a fantasy football player, unless it's a dynasty league, I don't know if I would take JJ McCarthy this year unless he's my second or third quarterback, right? Because maybe if he's on your bench and you're like, he does pop off like Sam Darnold did last year, and you're like, okay, now I got something. I just don't know. I mean, Trevor, you're not going to take JJ McCarthy in any of your teams, are you?
Well, interesting you say that because just looking at best ball rankings right now, JJ McCarthy is going as a 20th quarterback off the board.
That's so late.
And
that's ridiculous.
I mean, it's below. He's above Tua. He's above Penix. He's above Stafford. He's above Bryce Young, Geno Smith, Cam Ward, Sam Darnold. Like, I mean, Justin Fields is number 13 on this list. It's insane.
Wow.
Right? So that's what people are
Fields
taking
is great
so
for fantasy. He just sucks in real life.
Yeah, so like great in fantasy.
I missed you,
right?
Dave. I missed you, Dave.
I think that you're right. Excuse me. You're right. In a 2 quarterback league, JJ McCarthy gets picked up and played.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? But in a 1 quarterback league, I would pick up JJ McCarthy as my second quarterback at the end of the draft. And why not? Like, who knows? He's surrounded by talent.
Yep.
He's like last year, I thought Sam Darnold was going to be terrible. I was totally wrong. He was actually really good. So I don't know. I'm okay with JJ, but I wouldn't feel confident. It depends on how big your league is. Are you talking it's a 12-team league? If it's a 12-team league, now JJ McCarthy might have a little bit more value. But in a 10-team league, I don't think he has any value yet. I think if you're a Vikings fan, it's just worth it. Why not stash him as your last pick? Go for it.
That's the thing.
There's no risk because you can just drop him and pick someone else up if you want.
All right. So along this lines, and I want to start with you on this, Miles. So kind of on that line. So let's go ahead and rank the NFC North best fantasy football QB targets.
Ooh.
Oh, easy, man. Jordan Love's number 1. Jordan Love's number 1.
Come on.
For sure. 100%.
Okay. Wait. Dre, are you saying that Jordan Love's number 1 fantasy football target between the NFC North QBs? Are we agreeing with that?
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Goff is number 1.
The worst.
Goff is number 1.
Oh, come on.
Goff is number 1 of the fantasy
for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay.
Dude, he's been so good. How can you deny them? I mean, I get
Jordan
the
Love's
coaches.
Jordan Love's ceiling is higher for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah, but
yes, you've seen Goff's ceiling. You've seen it.
Almost
He's
5,000
Goff
yards
doesn't
and
get any better than what he is.
That's fine, but he's consistently really good.
Sure, but Jordan Love's going to be better.
We'll see.
Jordan Love's been up and down here. I
think he's good, but I don't think he's great. Like I don't know if he is he better. I think he can be better. I just don't know if he's consistently better.
The 7th letter heard this talk.
All right,
I'm in.
I'm just sitting there lying. What is happening right now?
As a Packers fan, I disagree with you, Miles.
Okay.
Because Dave is right. Jared Goff is the safest. Okay. Jordan Love, the reason why I'm not drafting Jordan Love in any league, any redraft league, is because of Josh Jacobs. They run the ball now.
Yes, love that.
He's not going to have these monster games of 300 plus yards. Eric, what you're looking for in your quarterback, he doesn't have the rushing touchdowns. That's the thing. So year 1, he exceeded my expectations. He was awesome. I'm so happy to have him. Year 2, I'm like, whoa, we got a running game. And he's got what's cool is, so I'm not on the Jordan Love bandwagon. In fact, I'm fading Jordan Love in all my leagues, not because I don't think it's a good quarterback. I'm talking about fantasy football. Is he going to get 3,500 yards passing? How many touchdowns is he going to score? 25, 35, 28? I don't know.
I'm saying 4,000 plus yards passing.
Whoa.
What?
36 plus touchdowns.
Whoa.
That's not happening. I don't
think
that's
10 interceptions.
So like
or
Josh
less.
Jacobs gets hurt.
I'm drafting high regardless.
First of all, you guys need to understand, for fantasy-wise, Goff is number 1. The guy with the most upside is the guy in purple. That's the guy.
Oh, come on. Wait.
What do you mean? You
not
just thought Sam Darnold was a top 5 fantasy quarterback last year. Now, you're going to tell me that JJ McCarthy can't replicate that? Why not? Explain
because
to me
he hands
not
off
in his first year as a starter. He's got too much to learn.
He's got way too much to learn.
He's been with the team for a whole year. He's not a true rookie. He's ahead of the
but he hasn't been in it. He hasn't played. He hasn't been in it like when the plays are being called and
rookies ball out every single year, right?
That's true.
So do they not? All I'm
No,
saying is,
I would say
Some do.
Jaden Daniels is an exception, not the rule.
well, Jay Stroud did it 2 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
it happens all the time. And I'm not saying he's going to throw for 5,000 yards. I'm saying upside in the offense. We saw literally, if we could rewind a year ago, you guys would have said the same thing about Sam Darnold. The exact same thing.
I mean, yeah, I was trashing
and now
Sam
you're
Darnold
talking
this time
of
last year.
course,
For
Sam
sure.
Darnold,
I get it.
to be
So were
fair,
you, Dave?
Sam Darnold has played in the league before.
I didn't think we get 14.
JJ
14
has
wins.
not played in the league.
Very
There's an
fair.
adjustment.
Very fair.
We saw Sam Darnold play like trash. Now,
But
what
he
if
played
JJ
in the
McCarthy
league.
just put up 5 years of what Sam Darnold did? No, he has no history. Which
But
I
he
get.
played
That's-
in the
that's
league.
scary.
He played in the league,
But
and that's different.
Okay. All right.
I'll let you go on this island if it was dynasty.
Listen, I'm saying upside
right?
for fantasy football. If you can get him like Trev said, like super late, which is what I plan to do in every league, get him late and he balls out. That's the best case scenario.
League winner.
One quarterback, 100%.
Yeah,
And Jordan Love, I like him. He's a decent player. I think he's a fine quarterback. He's a good player. But he's right. Like, they run the ball too much. He's not going to get that 35 or 40 touchdowns. I don't think that's going to happen. His upside is limited because Josh Jacobs is so good.
Hey, Dre, can you bring Dave back down to life here a little bit?
Good luck. Good luck.
Because I mean, you got Jordan Mason.
I'm
I
with
love
him.
running
Actually,
game,
on
though.
this.
I agree.
Jordan, they're
with
gonna
that.
they're gonna run also. Come on.
Because if you're in on Jefferson, here's the thing: if you're in on Jefferson, somebody's throwing him the ball. And I'm not saying like McCarthy is going to be like the number one like fantasy person. I'm not saying I'm drafting him number one. I would definitely, obviously, I would take Josh Allen over him any day of the week. Like 100%, I would. I think he's much better at Lamar, obviously, Burrow, all that. Every standard one, I would say over McCarthy. If you're in a 2-quarterback league, which I am in, I would definitely bet on him. Like, I think there's a lot there. I mean, especially if you're betting on Jefferson. I mean, come on. Like, again, like we've already said multiple times, Darnold should not have been as good as he was. And the games that Darnold had bad, guess who also was bad? Jefferson didn't have, for the majority of the time, that was kind of, they went hand in hand there. And I think McCarthy has a lot of upside from that. Yeah, he doesn't have to be your number one QB, but he can. There are going to be games, and I mean, Josh Allen has a bye. I mean, that could be the week that the Vikings go off and McCarthy's throwing the ball a lot. And the thing is, McCarthy has a lot of other weapons. I mean, Jefferson is great, obviously, and he's gonna get numbers. That's at the end of the day. Addison's not a slouch. Yeah, like he's not been like a fantasy like thing, but he can still play well. He had his great moments. Same thing with Hawkinson. Like, he can still produce. He's not like, again, top tier tight end fantasy wise, but he can still do it. So again, Jefferson, he has the ability to spread the ball around, which is what he did in college. Yeah, he handed it off as well, but all of his receivers, I think, had like 600-700 yards a season. I think like that shows that he can do that, and I think like he can do that with Minnesota. Even though Jones is old, he can catch the ball. Like,
well, I'm going to say he does.
All those yards are going to be focused on him passing, so he's going to get a lot of numbers.
So he does have the big KOC as coach, and I do trust in the big KOC as coach. I tell you what,
you go buy that shirt right
Can I
now.
say one more thing about all these quarterbacks? And
yeah,
you know, JJ McCarthy will finish as a top 12 fantasy football quarterback, and he will be higher than Jordan Love or Caleb Williams. The only one that will be better is Jared Goff, and that's maybe he might beat him too.
You know what, Dave? You're not far off. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Last year, Sam Darnold was the number 9 quarterback in the league fantasy wise.
Okay, like 5 or 6, but I could be wrong.
He was number 9. Okay, and he had 4,300 yards passing. He had 35 touchdowns. Okay, so he's in the right situation to do that. Here's the thing where I'm like, I don't know if he'll do it, but remember when Alex Smith was the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? They went and drafted good old Mahomes, right? Nobody knew that Mahomes was going to do what Mahomes
pick was
did.
He taking?
In his rookie season, Mahomes had 50 touchdowns. 50, okay? So I'm just saying that he got placed in the right spot.
Thank
And I
you.
think
That's what I'm
the upside
saying.
that we're talking
Speaking
about.
of-
I'm not saying
all these guys do it. That's all I'm saying. He's has that upside. That's all. Okay, go ahead.
Speaking of
That's
getting
what I'm
placed
saying,
in the right spot, Caleb Williams has a fantastic spot with a fantastic coach. And you talk about upside. I mean, wide receiver wise, I'm not really sure who is going to be the number one wide receiver. It could be Odunze this year. And so you have all those weapons. You know, I would absolutely pick Williams over McCarthy to be. He had, what did he have? 3,600 yards with a broken coaching staff. And they didn't know how to use Cole Kmet. And now they added a new tight end plus, Luther Burden and motivated wide receivers. I don't know who to pick in the wide receiver room, but, overall, I would say the Bears have the best wide receiver core in the entire NFC North.
Did I hear that right?
Dre didn't like that.
No, Dre's out. Dre's out on that one. I think I'm out on that one too.
Who
I
are
like
we going
Caleb.
to the
I think Caleb
receivers?
Williams is good. Go ahead.
I just wanted to lay my last little ranking down here on the QBs before we go on to the receivers. And I want to caveat it with, this is not to say that any one of them is bad. And I'm not a McCarthy hater, by the way. I've actually kind of said I think McCarthy could be good.
Mm-hmm.
But you asked for rankings. So I do believe Love will finish first. I believe Goff will finish second. I think that'll be a close race. I believe McCarthy will finish third. And I think Williams is going to have a bumpy ride getting used to Ben Johnson. That's where I just want to lay my rankings there for the receipts purposes so that we can come back.
Hey, anything's possible, right? But, the thing is, you talk about, young quarterbacks. I think I can understand maybe being a bumpy ride for Williams. And I think it might be McCarthy. What we're not really talking about either. It could be a bumpy ride for Goff, right? New coaching staff,
it could.
And they've got a tough schedule, and I think because of, how well they've done, we're kind of like crowning them. We're kind of like Dennis, was it Dennis Allen or no, Dennis Green, Denny
Green, baby.
Crown
who we thought they were.
So who knows? So I do, me, and I say Love is mid, right? But there are times when he drops back and it scares the crap out of me because he does have an arm. And if he could actually make it accurate, if he puts it all together, if he puts the footwork and all that together, that does scare me. And as a fantasy football quarterback, in that offense, I can see how, Love would put up the yards. But yeah, I mean, that's why we
love to take for you, Andy.
All right.
Out of all these guys on this list, not one of them will be my starting quarterback in a redraft league. There is no way I'm going to start any one of these guys. There are way better quarterbacks, in my opinion, in better situations that I would rather have. Now, these guys as backups, sure. I'm not starting any one of these guys. I don't have any confidence. In fact, all of our schedules are crazy.
They are,
so,
I agree with that.
Yep. I'm fading them all. So these guys are like 9 to 14 on my list, or 15 on my list, 20 on my list. You know,
I would actually agree with that as well. So, all right, so let's go ahead and go to the wide receivers then. And obviously, I think it's pretty obvious who the best wide receiver is in the division, and we know it's DJ Moore.
Wow.
It is Justin Jefferson, and he's going to put up his numbers, although sometimes the Packers do slow him down. I don't know how, right? But so when we say NFC North 2025 fantasy football wide receiver targets, Justin Jefferson, and who else?
I'm on Ross St. Brown.
I'm on St. Brown.
I'm on Ross right there. Yep.
He was literally number 3 last year.
Yeah. He's
it was Jefferson 2, and I'm on round 3.
Okay, so I'm on Ross. Who else we got?
I mean, after that, it's you got guys with some upside. DJ Moore. I mean, Addison. Who knows in Green Bay? It's too hard to pick one in Green Bay, at least until someone establishes themselves. Jameson Williams he was good last year, and then
Number 13 overall.
I'm missing
Crazy.
somebody. Am I missing somebody? Maybe
No, I mean, honestly, DJ Moore might slide in at that number 3, depending on how things go with the system.
Yeah, so I'm a little leery of that. You know, I love DJ Moore. I love his talent. Luther Burden, and I'm not 100% sure how much playing time Luther Burden's going to get in all the different sets and everything right away, because he almost does seem like a DJ Moore type, right? You know, I don't know. I mean, so I am wondering, especially with the rapport that Caleb Williams has, if Odunze takes that number 1 wide receiver mantle this year. Not to say that DJ Moore is not fantastic. You know, he finally came out this week and talked about his body language in some of the games last year, and how Ben Johnson called him out on that and said, we can't be having that. And he said, I'm going to only talk about this once. Yep, I've been told we can't have that. That's what I love about Ben Johnson. He is finally kind of, you know, giving making the players holding them to accountability. And so DJ Moore, he's got the talent. They may use him in some different ways, almost like the Packers use Jaden Reed, on some kind of jet sweeps, different things like that. So when you're talking about just a big playability, Odunze has that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Totally agree. And I'm not going to say that one of the Packers receivers couldn't emerge as that. One of them might, Jaden Reed might come back, Dobbs might come back. And while we were, kind of talking about, DJ Moore going to be traded by the Packers might trade one of their receivers too. We might have some trades going around the NFC North. But I will say this, because, we kind of have talked about the obvious ones with related to fantasy. I don't know how much attention outside of the Packers fan world that Dontavian Wicks gets. But that's a dude that could surprise a lot of people. I know we were kind of calling that a little bit last year, and he had some drops, the whole group did, but his skill set is really nice. His routes, he probably runs the best routes. Now, I haven't gotten to see a whole lot of Matthew Golden yet, so I won't say of this group, but Dontavian Wicks, he's a really great route runner, a great separator. If that guy puts it together, he's gonna make his name known outside of the Packers fan world. So he's one to keep an eye on. If you're looking for somebody to stash out of the receivers, the Packers receivers that you haven't really thought about much, he's one that I would watch. But watch training camp. Training camp will tell a lot about all this, and you could probably know what's going on before you hit your fantasy draft.
Well, yeah, and we have you have a certain wide receiver that's just maybe I don't know if he's ever going to be back. A certain wide receiver out of North Dakota State, is he ever coming back, Trev?
Week 12.
Sooner.
12.
He's irrelevant.
So you don't want to draft him in fantasy football unless you're going to draft him and put him on the IR spot.
Yeah, if you got an IR spot,
just have him there, and just like maybe he's a league winner later on. I don't know. It depends how many wide receiver spots you got, but I don't know. Christian Watson's great when he plays. He just doesn't play much.
He's a game changer.
Maybe by then, like Golden will take his place by then.
Totally, that could happen.
All right.
I don't know why you added Wicks to this, because he said just a guy to be looking out for.
I mean, Wicks is a guy to watch out for.
Yeah. Is this the wide receiver target you're going to go up? You're
Wicks,
not
no. I'm just trying to bring names up that most people haven't talked about. I mean, we could sit here and talk about Jaden Reed and Christian Watson if you want, and Matthew Golden, 100% speculation because we haven't seen him do anything in pads. Hey, but I'm trying to bring stuff up that maybe others haven't really talked about.
Hey, Trev, I think I have a new T-shirt idea for the Packers.
Oh, jeez.
Wicks on, Wicks off.
Gosh, stop.
My question is, who will buy it? No Packers fans buying it.
Wicks on, Wicks off. All right.
With the Karate Kid in the background?
Yeah. Let's go to the tight ends. And Dre, is there a case that Hawkinson's not number 1 tight end in that division?
Laporta has, Frank, he is the best tight end, right? I mean, obviously, he had kind of a little bit of a second-year slump, but I think, he, fantasy-wise,
last year for fantasy till the end.
Yeah, I think I think he honestly has a lot more ups. I mean, the tight end position fantasy wise, like I think like it's once you get past like the first like maybe top 5, the drop off is so significant. So it's like you either are like good, like obviously Kelsey is even like kind of falling off a little bit. You pretty much have Bowers, McBride, technically Kelsey, mostly for like I guess what do you call it, legacy wise, and then Laporta in my mind. Obviously, like Hawkinson has a lot of upside there too, and Kraft I think has a good commit. Like they do, but it's also just as much as any other tight end I would say in the rest of the league. Like it's just like they could have a lot of numbers. Like I would say one of the Bills tight ends too.
Kincaid.
They're both really good. Kincaid, he's good, but again, they both had like kind of like off years last year, so it's. Tight end is such a hard position, at least fantasy wise. It's such a hard position to like really draft for. You kind of can't really care too much unless you're drafting high on those like top 5, and then it's like, Dave,
you're gonna say Hawkins is the best in the division, right?
Honestly, I would probably take Laporta like slightly over Hawkinson. He scores more touchdowns. It feels like, but I think they're close. I think they're both top.
So this might surprise you. I'm going to take Hawkinson the best over Laporta. Here's why.
And I'm not mad about it.
JJ McCarthy needs a dump off.
Oh, I think that could be. I think it absolutely could be true. 100%.
I think Goff. I think obviously has Laporta. I think Hawkinson has a big year fantasy wise this year because of JJ McCarthy. I don't know if JJ McCarthy is going to be as comfortable throwing the deep pass. So I don't know. I think Hawkinson might be a little bit better on the tight ends. Now, Trevor, what about which Packer tight end is are we looking at?
Yeah, I want to say Musgrave, but it's Kraft and it's not close at this stage. What I like about Musgrave is he reminds me like the way he runs and plays is like Kelsey. I was drafting him in every league I could get. I was trading for him, and then it's like, oh man, and he got hurt, and so it's what sucks is if Musgrave does play well, then they're gonna split, and then it's like you can't start either one of them, and then it's like too much. But Kraft was unbelievable last year. Like did things that we never thought he was gonna do. That one pass to the back of the end zone when he's coming across, and even how Jordan Love, thread the needle, and then how he caught it full stretched out, and like I was blown away at how good Tucker Kraft is. I think Tucker Kraft's the better tight end personally, but maybe Musgrave does some different. In my opinion, different things that would affect. But I think the same conversation happens in Chicago, Kmet and Loveland. Like, who do you draft? Like, everyone's going to be drafting Loveland, but maybe Kmet is the guy you want fantasy-wise.
So, so I'm glad you brought that up. So I do put Kmet as the 4th tight end in the division, and obviously here's why. I think, there's so many other mouths to feed now, and I think Kmet will be over Loveland. I think Loveland will they're going to be in some 12 personnel sets, I think, and Loveland's going to get a chance, but I just think it's very rare you have like a Brock Bowers, right, where someone just steps in and I can't even, when you think about the Raiders, who else was on that team as a receiver, right?
He's okay. Yeah.
So he was the guy, and Loveland's not going to be expected to be the guy. Kmet, I think, with some of the things that they're going to do with him, I think fantasy wise, they're going to really get him involved because the Bears forgot about him last year. It was ridiculous. It was a crime that they forgot about him. And so I think Kmet is going to be the biggest one, but Tucker Kraft might be, slightly ahead of that. I mean, are you kind of on that same path then, Miles, as well with the tight ends?
I think that's where it is right now. I don't think you can really argue with that. I do think, Kraft and Musgrave are both going into their 3rd year, so they're young. There's room for this to still kind of develop. But Musgrave has the athleticism he's got way more athleticism than Kraft, and that's not to take away from Kraft. Kraft's just a beast. I love him. He's got that tight end attitude. But if you can keep Musgrave healthy, he stretches the field in a way that Kraft doesn't, and that's what I really, really would love to see. But Trev nailed it. I mean, if you get that, you're still splitting them, right? Like Kraft's not going to go away, even if Musgrave takes off. At very best, you're just splitting it, and it makes it impossible fantasy situation. So I don't love, from a fantasy perspective, I don't love any of the tight end situations. I mean, maybe again, like Laporte is pretty good. Beyond that, it's tough, man. Like you kind of have to stream your tight ends almost, try to get matchups, try to catch a hot hand, and play it that way.
So now, obviously, one of the main, position groups is a running back, and I think this one is easy. Well, let's go back here. Hawkinson almost on a do not draft list. Whoa,
must be because of injury, right?
That's probably
I wouldn't say that.
Packers tight ends are usually a good value. You must be a Packer
be available
fan. Are you a Packer fan here?
Right, they'll be available late. Even Kraft will probably be available later rounds.
Yeah,
so it's good value.
Yeah, I'm not someone who's gonna draft a tight end high either. You just you have to wait and get value as well. So let's go. Obviously, a position group that's always drafted high, the running backs. And I don't think this one is close, right? I think number one in the division is Josh Jacobs, right? I mean, Trev.
It might be Gibbs.
Okay, we're going Gibbs. Okay. We don't even have
fantasy. Gibbs finished as the RB1 last year.
Yeah,
that guy's number one, man. He's a monster.
Josh Jacobs was number 6 overall last year.
Okay,
I would take Gibbs, and that doesn't mean Jack Jacobs is bad, but Gibbs. I mean, the way he can catch, he runs, he does it all. I feel like they're probably going to even try to get him the ball even more. I mean, he's a stud. I remember playing them last year, and I'm just like, I'm terrified of that guy. He's a stud, man. He's so good.
But in defense, Dave, Montgomery got hurt.
Yeah, but he was still good.
And Montgomery is the touchdown vulture there. They give him the ball all the time on the goal line. I think that's why it inflated Gibbs's numbers. I don't think he ends up as a top 5 running back this year. Maybe just because Montgomery's there. I'm thinking that something else is going to happen. I know that's a hot take. Sorry. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was 6.
Yeah. That's So Gibbs and Jacobs, I mean, that maybe that's a question, but I mean, Miles, are you kind of on that same?
No, if I can make a case for Jacobs, it would be he's going into year 2 of the Packers system. Nothing is changing. It's all going to be consistent.
Yep.
And then Gibbs, it's new, I don't know if you would say it's a new offense, but there's new to the offense, right? You got a new coordinator. There's going to be some things that change. I mean, Gibbs is a beast, but just situationally, I think Josh Jacobs, I would project him as number 1 going into this season, not necessarily saying that based on what happened last season.
All right. So now the controversy, I'm going to go with you, Dre. Who is at number 3 with the running backs in the division? I think I know where Dave's going, but I'll ask you first, Dre.
I mean, I don't even honestly know offhand who the Bears running back is. Offhand,
you will know. You'll know twice this year coming.
Yeah. It's not still Swift, is it?
It's still Swift. Yep.
Then I'm still gonna say. I mean, I'll say Jones just because, out of the 2 of them, I would take Jones over Swift. But I mean, I think because Swift has had too many ups and downs, which Jones, I think has that as well. But I think relatively, I think Jones is a little bit more consistent. But then again, he's old, so it's a toss up. I would say it's arguably 3A and 3B type of thing. I wouldn't take them over other running backs in outside of the division, but I mean, if they're the two, I would take Jones, because I've also had somewhat of a fantasy strategy is kind of to alleviate some stress on Sundays is draft the players that I like and that are on the Vikings, because then I just have one set of emotion. I'm sad and I can root because it hurts. Honestly, it's like, oh, I want the Vikings to win, but then like if I don't have any in my leagues, I always have Jefferson. But if it was the opposite, oh, I can't have him score. Fuck, like no, I don't want like that type of thing. Like it's just kind of like, so if I were like really put to that decision, taking Jones over like between Jones and Swift, I would take Jones just because of that. But I wouldn't be mad if somebody said to pick Swift over Jones. I've seen Jones play a little bit more. So
sometimes I do actually deploy a strategy where I try to in some leagues draft all the Packer players I can, so that I just make sure so I can bench them.
That's hilarious. Bet you'd never want to league
right there.
Rent free.
You're not going anywhere.
Okay, but on this list, I would have Gibbs 1, Jacobs 2, Montgomery 3, Jones 4, Swift 5.
That's fair. I would agree with that.
All right.
I'm okay.
So
I'm not against that.
Listen,
all right.
I'm a fantasy football legend, everyone.
This is true. This is true.
This is my greatest league, okay? I have right here 4, and after this year, 5 championships. Like, if you want to compete and contend and win fantasy football championships, I'm telling you, I know a thing or two. Okay,
man.
Those for yourself.
The rings to the table.
The rings, man. Like, I'm like the Jordan of the fantasy football right now. I'm the GOAT in my league.
Putting them all
here. I only have like championship towels, so that's all I have. I don't have rings.
Tell you what I'll say about. No, go ahead. What?
No.
I was saying about the Bear. I think Swift could be sneaky if he can stay healthy, which he always seems to have issues with, because Ben Johnson, one, I think Swift is a talented player. He's just hurt a lot, it seems like. And then 2, if Ben Johnson uses him right, which I think he could be a sneaky, like low key, like one of those guys that like balls out. So I could see that happen.
So, nice. So talking about sneaky and
Uh-oh.
We lost your audio there, Andy. But speaking of sneaky,
he still can't hear you.
Did you hit the mute button?
I'll stick up for Jones. I'll throw a little defense out there for Jones while Andy's figuring out his audio.
Can you hear me now?
There we are. There we are.
Yeah.
All right.
What I was going to say is Jones could be a security blanket for JJ. He was that in Green Bay. He's very, very reliable.
He's a good receiver.
Yeah, he's a good receiver. He may be a sneaky option there at number 3, maybe even better than 3 in the division, depending on how it goes with that offense.
Until he gets hurt.
What I was going to say, sneaky player in Dynasty, and there may be a T-shirt coming on this one. Actually, I think we got to get it coming. Monin guy.
Oh yeah,
and out of Rutgers for the Bears
here.
Dynasty leagues. I think later on, he's really actually showing up well so far. Obviously, it's early on in OTAs and everything. He's showing up well, and I think Monin guy is my guy. And that's if I'm going Dynasty and I'm all in on the Bears, I like him. Yeah, I mean, it really is hard to say, the Bears have, a solid running back. I like Swift, but he is definitely kind of a weak spot. The running back position is probably the weak spot right now in 2025. But going forward, I mean, we have Rashawn Johnson that could really kind of ball out as well and just be a solid running back as well. But Kyle Monangai is going to be a solid one going forward as well in Dynasty.
I can see that.
Noted.
Okay, but Andy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in a league with you and you never drafted him in our Dynasty League. So I'm just saying, I'm not sure. I'm also in that same league. You had a chance to draft Caleb Williams and you didn't draft him. So I don't know if I believe this.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, Maybe now, Andy, did you have some feelings about Caleb Williams not wanting the Bears to draft him? Is that why
he wanted to be a Viking?
Oh,
I mean, I don't blame him.
He did want the big KOC for sure as coach. Yeah, at the time, which I understand. No, I didn't have any feelings because I agreed with it. It was a mess, and we had a broken coaching staff, so I understand that. Monin he has been my guy for a while here, but I still have to have solid spots right now to win this year. And so, like, if I can find a spot, and I'm not sure, did someone pick him up already? Trev?
I'm looking right now because if he is, I'm taking him.
You're going to take him, and that's what I did that to your Packer running back and traded him to you. So hey,
that's true. It's true.
And sat him on the bench.
I think someone's taking him. To be honest,
which I get it. Everybody is on board with him, and that's why we got to love fantasy football. I mean, this is the time of year we talk about it, and everybody's right now. So
absolutely. Hey, speaking of everybody's right, Rev, he shared a picture with me that apparently is very popular with Bears fans right now. And so I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, Andy, because I'm confused. I really appreciate it. I thought it was pretty fun. It appears to be Caleb Williams. I'm assuming it's him because he's got fingernail polish on.
Yeah.
But he's holding all these trophies, and I'm curious, what are these trophies? Because they're not Lombardis. Are those the off-season trophies that y'all been getting? What, 4 years in a row now?
Yeah, we're building all to one crescendo. One crescendo. That's that. We're all getting ready. We're getting ready for this Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, like, all time. It's going to be better than a Belichick and whoever that Brady character was. When you talk about Caleb Williams kind of going forward, I mean, JJ McCarthy is going to be a footnote in all of this and be like, who was that? Who was that handoff king? I mean, there we go, JJ the handoff king.
Oh, you know what? That's a bold take, Andy. Mm-hmm. Here's my bold take. Okay, the Bears drafted the wrong quarterback. Again,
everybody's saying that.
Jaden Daniels should have been the number 1 pick overall, but whatever.
That's I don't know. I mean, obviously, when you look at schedules and everything like that, I think, CJ Stroud fell off in his second year. I think Jaden Daniels is going to fall off in his second year. They won a ton of close games that maybe they shouldn't have won. They should not have beaten the Bears. And what's that?
That one against the Bears was pretty cool.
It should not have, right? So you never know.
You can blame Stevenson for that one.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't there a Bears player that can take some responsibility for that?
And a broken coaching staff. That does not happen under Ben Johnson.
That
does not happen under Ben Johnson.
I'm with you, Andy.
Absolutely not. So, but hey, I love this time of year. Bring it on, because come season, the Bears are going to be firing off all cylinders. We're going to be ready to go, and I feel like everyone was ready to go tonight. I appreciate everyone coming on, and obviously, before we kind of sign off here, and everyone check out our new Freezin 4 Pod merch site. We're going to have more things coming soon. Trev is amazing at all the designs, and I'm the idea guy, and he's the idea guy. We kind of go back and forth. We're going to have shirts and apparel for all teams. So feel free to throw some in there, and also some nice catchphrases from the podcast as well. So lots of cool stuff there to come. We're going to be kind of testing it out. So feel free to send us some ideas and feedback as well on that. So excited about that, and what is to come with that as well. So, as we kind of close out, where can we find you, Dre, as we close out? Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, no problem. I always love coming on, especially talking football and stuff. So, yeah, you can hit me up on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, Stimping at Skullman Sports.
Very good, very good. And obviously on the JJ train is Dave. I know you're on the JJ train. Where can we find you other than the JJ train?
Viking Dave 18 on Twitter. That's pretty much all I'm at. Pretty simple. All
right. Well, we're gonna have to be more active this year. Obviously, I think we have a great division. I think we have one of the best divisions in the NFL.
I think it's the best. I think it's the best.
It's going to be a tough schedule for all of us, but it's going to be intriguing. We all have great storylines, and obviously, someone who always has great storylines and always has great stuff. Miles, where can we find you as we close out?
I appreciate that, man. You guys can find me on the Pack Weekly Pod Monday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central, streaming live. Just talking Pack, man. No nonsense, no national sports BS, none of that. We're just having a good time getting into it. And man, we got this this brutal stretch of the offseason to get through here. So if you need Pack talk, we got it.
It's going.
And there's always fun stuff to talk about, even if it's not definitive yet. It is definitive that the NFL season is going to happen. But yeah, I mean, waiting for all those benchmarks, waiting for camp, waiting for just little nuggets and all of that. And someone who always brings good and small, but also big nuggets. RevTrev, you have some great stuff. Where can everyone find you as we close out?
You can find me everywhere at RevTrevNFL. I just posted a video on Caleb Williams throwing a pick. It has blown up on TikTok. I'm at 5,000 views already.
Ooh, okay.
I'm telling you right now, just go read the comments. The hate is real. It's awesome.
Yeah.
First of all, you invited that. I saw that. I know you're trying to do.
I know what I'm doing there. and then I just made 2 top 10 dynasty ranking lists that people want to check out for fantasy football. So if you're doing your rookie draft, go check it out. RevTrevNFL.
And I'm sure Monangai is on there somewhere.
Not in the top 10. Not in the top 10.
Oh, man.
It could be an honorable mention, though. You got to watch just to find out.
All right. Definitely going to check that out. And you can find me on NFL Outdated on YouTube, on Twitter X, and Freezin #4 pod on the TikTok. Definitely have to be a little bit more active as we kind of get stuff going on there as well. Got to check out Trev's TikTok, man. You're blowing up there. Love it. And obviously someone who was in an Uber, he was trying to make it, and
he was here.
He was here. And so Seventh Letter, always a shout out to him and always love having him on as well. But thanks everyone for commenting, liking, subscribing, all of that fun stuff. Definitely follow everyone here and check out our new merch as well. And we have more stuff next week. We'll talk a little bit more fantasy stuff as well, and more storylines as well, obviously, as we kind of get into OTAs and things like that a little bit further into hopefully closer to training camp as well. So thanks again, everybody. And once again, this has been the Freezin NFC North podcast, and have a great night, everybody. Stay safe.
Adios.
Go Pack, go.
Go.